So this video is to just get you oriented in Ableton Live so you can kind of figure your way around. Everybody who has taken the first class has already been through this, and I assume you still remember some of this, but just as a refresher if you haven't done it recently. This is your browser window. This is how you're going to access files, devices. Files are accessed over here in places, like if you need to drag in a piece of audio or MP3 or something like that, it's over here. Instruments, sounds, we got drums, instruments, audio effects, MIDI effects, Max for Live, which we're not messing with yet. Plugins, some of the effects that you're using will be plugins, and clips and samples. That's all over here in this corner. These are tracks. Right now they're oriented vertically. You can change that by hitting the tab button on your computer keyboard, which I'm about to do, like that. Got a couple return tracks here, which I don't need, so I'm going to click on this R over here and turn those returns off because I'm not going to use them for this. And this is the master track where all of the audio is being collected and coming out where you can hear it. This is your clip view area window. Also for devices, you can view the device you happen to be using at any given moment down here. You can also view the clip. And you got some playback controls up here, the shuttle control, and some other controls that we'll get into how they work in a bit. And you've got metronome on off, this button. We've got the global quantization. We've got the meter and the tempo, and there's a tap button to tap in the tempo if you'd like. So as I tap this button, you'll see it change. Yep, that's how that works. So I have a MIDI keyboard hooked up to this, and as you can see, when I am pressing the MIDI buttons or the keys on the MIDI keyboard, these buttons over here that say all channels are lighting up. See that? So that's telling me that the computer is receiving my MIDI on these channels. In fact, if I open this up, I can see which channel it's coming in on. Channel 1. Nice. I could go to the keyboard and change the MIDI channel. There's a setting for that. So if I wanted this keyboard to come in on a different MIDI channel, I would go to the keyboard, go into setup, and then change to some other MIDI channel. But we don't need to mess with that right now. Right now we're receiving on all channels and it's coming in. If I arm this channel, if I hit this arm button down here, you'll see that now when I press it, instead of just being showing in the input, it's also going to be showing in the main meter. Yeah, all that MIDI data. So basically the way MIDI works is the MIDI keyboard is not generating any sounds of its own. Right now you're just seeing the data coming in, and the data that it sends are note on messages. When you press a note, it turns on. The velocity, that's how high I press it. Think of this like the carnival thing where the big strong guy can use the hammer to hit the lever that throws the thing and tries to hit the bell. If you've seen that before, that's kind of like this. The harder I hit the key, the higher this is going to go. So if I play it soft, watch. Yeah. And then the harder I hit it, the higher up it goes. And you can adjust how it responds using the MIDI or using the MIDI velocity curves like we talked about the other day or in the other videos. So I'm going to turn this off for a moment. These are the mute buttons for these two channels, which I don't have any audio running through them right now, and I don't have any software instruments on there, so there's nothing to mute at the moment. These are audio channels, and I'm just using this audio channel to get my voice into Ableton so that you can hear it on the video. So first thing we're going to do is switch back over to arrangement view. So I'm going to hit the tab button. I'm back in arrangement view here. And I'm going to hit this little triangle up here to get my browser window to open. And I'm going to find some sounds, start messing around. I'm going to get rid of this audio track first because I don't need it. And I'm going to close this one. So yeah, over here in instruments, you have this collection of things. Analog, collision, drum rack, electric, external instrument, impulse, instrument rack, operator, sampler, simpler, and tension. These are all different types of software instruments, and they all have presets that you can use. For instance, Analog, if I open it up, has presets for bass, brass, effects, etc., etc. And if you want to listen to these sounds and see what they sound like, you can go and open up that preset. And I'm going to hit some of these play automatically. Some of them you have to hit enter to get them to play. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that yet. Why is it not? Oh, it's the cue. The cue's down. Here we go. Yeah. Hear that? That's what this patch sounds like. Acoustic almost bass. So you can see it's playing it down here in this little preview window. I'm going to go to the next one. So right now I'm just auditioning the sounds, just listening to see what they sound like. So once I find one that I want to work with, I'll grab it and pull it over to a MIDI track. Or, as we discovered before, hit enter and it'll create a new MIDI track for it. I kind of like this one. I'll pull it over. So now that I have it pulled over, it automatically armed that track for me because it assumes, hey, the instrument you just pulled over is probably the one you want to play, so we're going to go ahead and arm that track. So now that it's armed, you can hear that instrument when I play the MIDI keyboard. Alright, that's what that instrument sounds like. So let's say I wanted to record, I don't know, a song or something. I would start by finding the tempo that I want to do. So just tapping. And it looks like it's about 113.5. I like using round numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this and type in 114 and hit enter. So now I got 114. And if I want to listen to that, I can hit the click, press play. There's my 114. So this is probably going to come out kind of a little sloppy because there's a big delay between what I'm hearing because of the way I'm recording this. So I'll do my best to try to play in time. But if I don't, I have record quantization. Record quantization, what that does is every note that you play in, it automatically shifts it to the closest grid value of whatever you choose here. So if I chose quarter note, it would move everything to the closest quarter note that I played. So I tell you what, I'll record something without global quantization or without record quantization first, and then play it back, and then we'll do one with, and we'll see how it sounds. Terrible. So I'm playing back using the space bar. It is nowhere near the grid. So I'm going to click on the name bar of that MIDI clip I just created. See where it says darkness bass, and hit delete. And you don't have to delete them to get rid of them. You can just record over them, but I'm just doing it to show you how to delete things. One of the ways anyway. So now I'm going to turn on the record quantization. Let's use a wide quantization like quarter note. And watch what happens this time. See how it shifted everything? All of the beginnings of the notes shifted right to the quarter note automatically. Could be very handy, especially when you're playing fast passages and you want them right on the beat, and you're not maybe the world's greatest keyboard player, and who is. So I'm going to change it to 16th note. And there's no way I'll be able to play this in time with this delay. So I'm just going to play some notes. And now it's shifted everything to 16ths, and let's hear what it sounds like played back. Okay. So that's that. So I'm just going to start creating something and see what happens. I'm going to double click on this clip, and that opens it up down here in the clip viewer. And this is a representation of what I just played on a piano roll. So this piano roll is showing the pitch that I actually played on the piano. The way that I'm scrolling around is on the laptop I'm using 2 fingers. You can just use the scroll wheel on your mouse. But if it's not working right, and I know some of them aren't, you can just grab over here and push up and down. And if you grab here and you push left and right, you can zoom in and out. Convenient. And up here you can grab and move left and right to shift, or you can move up and down to zoom in and out. So I'm just going to shift the notes around. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to move this loop brace over here right to the beat 4. So now I have exactly 4 bars of that. Or 3 bars rather. In fact, you know what? I'm going to shorten that to here. And I'm going to loop it. So by turning loop on, that now tells the software that when I drag this, that I want it to repeat these notes over and over and over again. So I'm going to grab, see where it turns into a little bracket there. I'm going to pull this over, and it's going to repeat over and over and over and over and over again. What the heck? I'll go ahead and repeat it for 2 minutes. Okay, so let's call that track done. And now I'll go on to a different instrument. Let's do drums. I don't actually have any drum racks created already, any presets, so I'm going to pull some drums from somewhere else. Let's go down here to packs. There's lots and lots of extra sounds down here that I've downloaded from the Ableton website, created by other creators, other companies, etc., etc. So here's some drums, session drums, and there's another drum kit in here. Yeah, Drum Drops Recording Hybrid Kit. So I'll just grab that. And I'm going to use the pads on the keyboard and see what's queued up. Because I can't play this in time, that's going to sound absolutely terrible. with the magic of MIDI, I can go edit these notes by playing it in step time. So right now you can see the measures up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. And you can double click when you are showing the regular mouse cursor. You can double click to insert a note. And I'm going to turn this cue on this little headphones. That lets us hear what we're putting in. And a snare drum. And I'm using the keyboard up, down, left, right arrow keys to move this. Double click. Let me turn this up where we can hear it. Turn this down. This is your volume, by the way, this orange one. I'm dragging it, clicking and dragging down. That's just so I can hear the drums better. And so that's one way to put the drums in. The other thing you can do is hit the B button on your keyboard, and that turns you to drawing mode. See the little pen I have now? And I can just click once to put instruments in. And I can also click and drag to put in multiple instruments. So like this closed hi-hat. The other thing you can do is change the grid. If I right click, this will give me some presets for how I want to fix the grid. I can fix it to 8th note, 16th note, 32. You can see all that. Let's do 1 bar. Look at that. The grid goes away and it's all at 1 bar. Weird. That wouldn't be useful at all. So 8th notes, that's good. Yeah, so I'm going to just play around and put in some drum notes. Clicking on a piano roll note selects everything in that row. So this selected all of those hi-hats. And then I'm going to hit Command C to copy, and then Command V to paste. And now there's another layer right on top. And I can move it around with my keyboard buttons. I just hit B again to take draw mode off so I can select these. And I can duplicate them by hitting Command D. Look at that. All of that beautiful duplication. So I'm not going to finish this drum track right now. I'm just going to, let's just go with that for now. I just pretend that I put in an actual drum track. This is all going to be very random sounding. No idea what this is going to come out like. I'm just filling in notes. Duplicate. Yep, weird, just as I thought. If I were making a real piece of music, obviously I would take a lot more time to program an actual drum beat all the way through, put in some fills, put in some interesting drum things. But that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to show you how to put notes in. And yeah, let's get another instrument. Let's go to operator and find something with a pad in it. Let's do that. Snow pad. And again, Ableton has automatically given us the arming on that track. So I'm going to go ahead and record. Again, the parameters of the assignment ask you not to loop more than one track, but I'm going to do it just for the sake of time here. I'm going to click on my MIDI clip that I've created up here, and I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate it. Okay, and now I'm going to get a lead instrument of some kind. Why not? And that's our 2 minutes of lead. So that's it. You just basically keep layering up all the different instruments that go with your piece, and then you end up with a final mix, and then we'll go into effects, and I will explain that in a different video. So, enjoy.